Hello guys, I'm back to finish our Kira Kira effect, and to this tutorial I'm gonna show you how we can add a shift to our sparkles, so we can add more than one type of sparkle and they don't block each other, right? Because one is gonna be shifted. So to do this shift, we're gonna have to add a texture transformation before our composition, this composition here. Remember, after we detect our edges, after the convolution and the swizzle, so after that we're gonna add a transform, a texture transform patch right here. And before this texture transform, we're gonna add the 2D transform pack. And now we can decide how much we want to translate in the X direction. For example, we want 0.1 in the X direction. So all our sparkles move 0.1. I think to the left. Let me check. Yeah, I think to the left. 0.1 and try 0.2. So you can add before this patch a value, vector 2, because you need one for X and one for Y. And you can add the numbers here, right? 0.1 in the X direction, 0.05 in the Y direction. So if you want to insert only numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, 1 and 5, because the scale is too big, we need to divide these numbers. Add divide here by a high number, like for example 100. So now instead of typing 0.05, 0.01, we can only add 1 or 5. I think you got that, right? So, but we are only shifting those pixels here. Let me show you what is happening. I'm shifting only those pixels, right? Look. In this case, they are going down. As we increase the Y value, they keep going down. Oh, now they disappeared completely. So let's go back here. So we need to do the same shift in our sparkles. Otherwise, they won't match. So when you connect our sparkles here, oh, they're still like this. They're not matching our pixels. So we need to add the same shift in this part here of our filter. So after this divide, we're gonna add how much we need to shift. Maybe a vector 2, connect here. And the first value is gonna be the same value that we shifted our pixels. So this output here, I'm gonna put vector 2, so it's easy to understand. So the same output here, We're going to connect there. Okay. Now every time we shift our pixels, we're going to shift our sparkle as well. See? You're shifting. Okay, now that we add our shift in the sparkles and in the pixels, we also need to add a shift here where we pixelate our image. Because as you can see now, I'm going to show you what happens here. If we shift too much, for example, 100 here, so it's like 1 unit here in the transform pack, right? Because we divide by 100, you see that our image starts to get distorted. Look, that's me. I like the shift here, it's okay until 50. There is only a little distortion. But if you increase too much, look, this part here gets all distorted. Yeah, so to fix this, we need to add a shift here too. In this part where we pixelate our edges, so we can fix this distortion problem here. So let's do this. We need to, after the multiply, let's insert an add patch, vector 2. And in the second values here, we need to add the multiplication of our shift. So we need to connect our shift here as well. Multiplication between our shift and the number of columns and rows. So when we add here, we're gonna fix the problem. See? Without it and with the multiplication. So now we complete our shift part. Let's test. I'm gonna connect here in the end. So let's shift 1 unity. So I shift 1 unit here because we are dividing by 100. We are actually shifting 0.01. That's why we put this division here, so we can write numbers, natural numbers, right? So as we shift our pixels, we are also shifting the sparkles and here where we pixelate the image. So now everything is correct. So to finish it, what we can do is turn all this into a patch. So let's do this. Oops. Gonna turn all this into a patch, and our inputs of this patch is gonna be the value needed to shift our pixels. So let's drag it here so that we don't select it inside our patch. And so our input is gonna be the camera texture, the value that we need to shift, the screen size, and our sparkle. Okay, so let me drag all here. Do you have anything else? No. And our output is gonna be the end of the spec here. After the spec, it's gonna be the output where we connect our material. Okay. We can also add as an input this step here, the edge, right? So increase the number of sparkles. Increase or decrease. Like in this case, I'm decreasing. So you can add this as an input too. So let's insert a value. And you can connect here. And let's drag this value outside too. Okay. Now you can select all these patches and don't select only the inputs and the output. And now we can group Ctrl G, or you can select everything, right click and group. Okay, now we have our patch. We can call it Kira Kira. And that's it. We just need to fix the names of the inputs and the output. For example, the first input here is going to be our texture. So right click, group properties. First input is our texture. It's going to be the type texture. The second input is the screen size. So screen size is going to be a vector 2. The third output is going to be our sparkle. It's going to be also a texture. And the fourth input is the shift, right? How much you want to shift. So let's name it shift. Vector 2. We can add a limit so we don't shift too much. But I think it's okay like this. Default value is going to be 0, 0. How's the default value here? I think it's okay. And the fifth input is going to be the edge, right, of the step. So we can name it edge. It's going to be a number. And the limit is 1, right? The maximum is going to be 1. And the minimum is going to be 0. It's going to be from 0 to 1. And the default value is going to be 0.5. Okay, and the output is going to be our Kira Kira. You can just call it output. Okay. So now we can control our shift here. I think, let's see. It's shifting. Yeah, I think it's working. And the edge you can control too. 0.1. So these values here we can change depending on which image we have, right? Like this image here, we have a lot of sparkles, so I can increase this number. And that's it, guys. Now we can test adding another sparkle, right? So I think I have this other one. Please don't forget to subscribe and give a like to this tutorial, okay? And let's duplicate this patch. Shift D, Ctrl D. Now we have two Kira patches. And the second one, we can add our other sparkle. So now we're gonna have two different types of sparkles. And also we need to add another rectangle, right? Because I think there is a bug here. Because this wasn't supposed to be happening. There were like two outputs connecting to this material. Oh, no, it's correct. Okay. So let's create another rectangle. It's gonna be our other sparkle. Click material, flat, extract here. Okay. Now I have two, but I think they are blocking each other, so I need to shift one of them. Yeah, now I have two sparkles. You can change their colors. I'm gonna leave them white, so you can change here the materials. You can change it here. Okay, now we have two different kind of sparkles, two different shapes. We can increase the number of sparkles, decreasing this number here of the edge number. Look, so we have much more sparkles. And you can play with these numbers. You can add more kinds if you want. And you can control the amount of sparkles either here in its edge, or you can go inside the patch and change this value here, the strength, in this patch, convolve 3 patch. Look, I prefer leaving like this and control only in the edge here. So guys, that's it. We finally finished our Kira patch. I hope you enjoyed this series of tutorials, right? These 2 tutorials. I divide this tutorial in 2 because they were too long. But that's it. Now you can have your own Kira. You can put whatever you want, whatever values you want, whatever sparkle you want. And please give a like, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. See you in another time. Bye.